Alexa, stop. Hello, Linkies. Alexa, stop. Oh, no. Welcome this wonderful Friday morning. Firstly, I just want to apologize for last week. Hopefully that's a notification to say that we're live on LinkedIn. I sat here last week for a whole 35 minutes talking to no one. The Restream software did not work, and for some reason, I was just sat here talking to myself and no one came on. So I do apologize. I don't know what happened. So please, if you are on LinkedIn today, actually, I think I'm going to go and check on LinkedIn right this second on another window because, okay, we are live. Thank goodness. So can you please start posting your questions? Oh, phew, honestly. Last week was quite stressful. I sat here just thinking, I've been here for 35 minutes and no one's saying a thing. Maybe I should have actually gone on LinkedIn and checked. But when you're in the throes of it, it gets a bit kind of stressful flicking between tabs. So I've had a good practice during this week. So I'm going to share a few things with you to get kicked off. So also, I've had quite a lot of messages from you in the past couple of weeks or so about where do I see your events? Where do I see these portfolio masterclasses? Where do I see your LinkedIn lives? So I want to show you where you can find them. Now, bear with me, I'm going to share my screen. Right, it's going to be this one. Share. So as you can see, this is my LinkedIn profile. And if you scroll down here, you'll see under activity, there's something called events. I'm going to be doing a lot more events during July. I've got loads of guests coming on. So please go onto my profile and have a look in here to see which events you would like to, or LinkedIn Lives, you would like to sign up for, and then you will get a notification. You'll also see in the top right, up there, there's a scannable code that you can go onto our website and sign up. What I will do, actually, I'll show you where to find our jobs as well, because I get so many messages on a weekly basis. Hayley, I want to apply for this job. Now, you can go onto our website, aerecruitment.ae, or scan this code in the top. I think it's going to be the top left for you. I hope so. Top left, top right, I'm not sure. I can't see it at the moment, but go to aerecruitment.ae/jobs. We have had an abundance of jobs come on in the past couple of weeks. So we are going to be uploading those into the system, advertising them on LinkedIn. We have got lots of interior roles. We've got lots of really senior roles, actually. So please keep an eye out for those in the coming weeks, days, weeks. I'll post as many as I can. And then if you do actually sign up using this link up here, you will get transported into your own portal. So I wanted to show you this because I've mentioned this over the weeks, that you will receive 5 emails. Now, those 5 emails will give you 3 tips or guides of how to update your profile. And that's covering CV, job search, LinkedIn, personal brand, and portfolio. I missed that one. And so that will give you initial 3 tips on each of those, but there's loads of support in here, and I'll run through these, but you will get access to CV guide and template. Now, this is just a basic one, but you will get free access to this so that you can get some templates. On a weekly basis, I keep going through. Now let me come back off this if I can. Oh no. So, on a weekly basis, I've been going through such a number of applications and CVs where there's no portfolios mentioned, no duties mentioned on those portfolios mentioned, projects mentioned in the CVs, and the duties and responsibilities on those projects. So, I'm finding a real struggle with some of you to be able to progress your applications because there's no details there for our clients to assess. If you go through uh, the jobs on our website, what you will see is there's always a section on there of the um, project expertise that we're looking for. Now, if they're not in your CV and they're not in your portfolio, how are we supposed to know? We are not mind readers. So please, please, please update your CVs and portfolios with the projects that you're working on and your duties and responsibilities. So, what are we? Is anyone online? Is anyone here? I know it takes quite a while for these things to kind of come through on a live. Just checking with my colleague to make sure that I am indeed live. I think I've got paranoias now that these aren't going out properly. So what I wanted to cover, so I've shown you how to A, find the events on LinkedIn, B, where to find our jobs on our website, and also what you're going to get when you sign up with a recruitment. I mean, also you will get access to that portal and your own portal where you can update all of your details as and when you like, but also you'll get some CV templates, you'll get some advice on every stage of your job search. So it's well worth going in there and getting inspired. So I wanted to talk about some successes that we've had this week. And Yusuf sent me a beautiful message, really lovely message, earlier this week to say that he is eternally grateful for the AE Masterclass. I've barely completed the LinkedIn and portfolio sections, and I already have an interview in Abu Dhabi. So well done to Yusuf. I'm really, really proud of you. He'd been applying to jobs for over 2 years without getting any responses whatsoever. So he's obviously gone through the masterclass, the AE masterclass, updated his LinkedIn. He's currently getting through his portfolio. I have seen a glimpse of it, and he's really getting there. So I'm really, really pleased that the AE masterclass is helping him. So why am I doing these? So I'm doing these LinkedIn lives again because I really want to get the message out there that your portfolio is the key in your job search. So I've had amazing feedback from clients over the years on our Portfolio Masterclass that it's yeah, they've seen a massive change. We had an MD come to us and say, Hayley, these two portfolios and these two guys came from the same company. They were both looking to move from Australia to Dubai, and they had an issue with the fact that both of these portfolios looked identical. It's almost like they sat there together and put their portfolios together. There were this slightly different wording, but because they were friends and they were working on the same projects, they were actually seeing their portfolios were actually pretty much identical. So anyway, this MD came to us and said, right, Hayley, not sure which guy to interview. We probably will interview both anyway, but let's set them a task. So we put them both through our Portfolio Masterclass, which you can find on our website. And wow, one of those portfolios shone like you wouldn't believe. So he had taken on the advice in the Portfolio Masterclass, completely updated his portfolio, and it really shone a light on his role. So it gave complete clarity of what he was working on and the stages of the project that he was working on. So the hiring manager, the managing director, was actually transported into that briefing room. He understood exactly what he was working on. And the MD actually said, Hayley, that portfolio is so good that we would hire him based just on his portfolio. The interview is just a formality at this point, which is amazing news. So well done to him. And this is why I wanted to do these LinkedIn Lives again, because we need to get this message out there that your portfolio can do the sales work for you. I know no one wants to hear the word sales, but unless you are going to give a clear outline and a clear vision about what you do on a day-to-day basis, what your role is, and your contribution on the projects, then you're going to get lost in this sea of people who don't know how to communicate their value and worth. So what are they looking for? Firstly, and I think I mentioned this just a minute ago, they want to see clarity. So, does your portfolio effectively communicate your CV story in a visual format? Now, I mentioned this a second ago. They want to be transported to the briefing room. So, using sensory language when it comes to your portfolio really makes you stand out. No one does it. Everyone focuses on the project itself rather than their role. And most portfolios become more like a brochure than a portfolio of an individual's work. So really focus on who you are as an individual and talk about it from your perspective, what you enjoyed working on. What kind of vision did the client have? Um, oh, we've got a comment from AE Recruitment. It's nice to see that I'm live somewhere. Thank you so much for someone coming in. Thank you, thank you. LinkedIn user. Whoa, this is a big one. Hi, Hayley. Thank you for this live. I have a question. Do you consider the CV portfolio template you provide as the standard presentation format to be shared with your client, or are they simply intended as a guide, intended as guidance and inspiration? I think I need to look at the side here. Sorry, it's covering up most of my face. Guide and inspiration. I like the concept of using a logo style A recruitment. Okay, so just so you're aware, if you go through any of our masterclasses, so that includes a free CV and template, what you will notice if you actually read through everything is that I want you to be original. So the only way that you're ever going to stand out is to be different from everyone else. I love the fact that you want to use a recruitment style, logo and style, but and I would love that. But when we're sending CVs and portfolios to our clients, so companies who come to us through the recruitment process, excuse me, and they would like us to find them people, we actually brand them. We've got just a cover page that we do that ourselves. It's totally up to you if you want to go that route, but I would suggest that you take on your own style. When I'm going through coaching sessions with people, we sit down, and it's a difficult question for some people to answer. But what we do is figure out who they are as an individual. So each and every one of us operates in a completely different way. Maybe not completely different, but there's a variance. So we want you to take on your individual kind of personality and persona and convey that in your CV and portfolio. What I would say is consistency is key here. So like you would do on any project that you work on, all of you guys have a complete awareness of colors, fonts, spaces, and how people feel. So I want you to bring that into your CV and portfolio, which is so incredibly important. That's how you make these connections with, hiring managers, directors, MDs, partners, because they can see where you were heading. So most people leave out things like the brief. We want to see that you've effectively communicated to the client, and fulfilled their initial brief. So why not include that in? We need to just have more information. So I've got a comment on a recruitment on our YouTube channel, but I can't seem to get to it. So apologies, whoever's watching on YouTube. Um, Please, guys, just keep asking your questions. So, oop, let me continue. Oh, before I go any further, I do want to say one thing. We have got so many roles coming in for interior designers, right from junior to senior. So please keep a look, keep looking at our website for those roles, which you'll be able to find at, they're all flicking up now. I'm trying to find my notes. aerecruitment.ae/jobs. I'll also be posting them on LinkedIn and getting them out there to all of you guys. So number one, when it comes to your portfolio, we're looking for clarity. Then we're looking for vision. So beautiful ideas that also address the brief. And I keep going on about the brief, but unless we understand what the brief was, we don't know that you fulfilled that. And yes, I'm sure if it's gone to completion, everything is fine. But we need to understand how you communicate to the client that initial vision. And it's buildability at the end of the day. We're looking for context and buildability. So the second point is think about the vision. Third point is the process. And every week I talk about this. We need to see evidence of how you think in the form of sketches, diagrams, concepts, development, technical drawings. We need to understand your involvement on these projects. So more often than not, and this is at least 90% of people that or portfolios I go through, they're completely focused on the project rather than what their involvement was. So portfolios become more like a brochure, and that's not what we're looking for. We're not looking for you to promote the project. We're looking for you to promote you. Remember who your audience is. It's the hiring managers at the end of the day. So they want to understand, and we want you to visually transport that hiring manager into their office. And this is when gaining interviews become a breeze. So once you articulate or visually articulate your position and what you were doing on a day-to-day basis on projects, you are transporting that hiring manager. Because you're all in the visual industry, he's thinking about, right, okay, so this guy's worked on this these stages of a project. What would he be producing if he was to work in my office? And the moment that he's visually looking at you in the office, in that seat that he's looking to fill, you've already done half of the sales bit for yourself. And you've also kind of set yourself up for what questions you are going to receive in the interview stages. So it has multiple uses when it comes to applying to jobs, being seen, standing out, and also what interview questions you are going to receive during your interview. Saying interview a lot there. So really think about your portfolio. I would love it if we would be able to, have all of these people, 800 people that are applying for jobs on a weekly basis, to have their portfolios together. What we are finding is that I can see the potential in someone, but their portfolio only contains 3D renders. Now that's great if you are a 3D visualizer, but it's not if you're a project architect, if you're an interior designer, if you're, I don't know, an urban planner, landscape architect. We need to understand your process and how you think, and that is so, so important when you're looking for jobs. So that leads me on to the next section. What are the telltale signs? So what I really want you to do is make a copy of your portfolio. Take out all the renders, and what do you have left? Now, I think for most people, there's not a lot, and this is why I'm going on about it, harping on about it. You know, I'm looking at portfolios going, well, you haven't actually communicated anything to the hiring manager. You've said in your CV that you're involved in pre-concept, concept, technical aspects, but then when I get to your portfolio, it's completely devoid of that. So really think about the message that you are clearly communicating to the hiring manager. So take out all the 3D renders, and does the reader know what the brief was? Are you talking the reader through your work, your duties, your responsibilities? Number 2. And number 3, is there a clear narrative throughout your portfolio? And this is where you bring in the storytelling aspect. So I want to be transported into that briefing room. All of you inspire people all day, every day. I mean, think about how many people don't really think about how architecture and interior design and landscape architecture, urban planning, urban design is all a part of our daily lives. And all of you make people feel certain emotions all day, every day, and you don't even realize it. Now, when it comes to your portfolio, I want to be transported. I want to feel those emotions. So use sensory language when it comes to your portfolio. And that is how you grab your audience, you find your cheerleaders. And that's when we want you to start talking about your projects. It's talking about your projects and finding your cheerleaders is how I like to talk about it. But yeah, if you guys could have you got any other questions here? I feel like I'm talking to myself again. Has my connection dropped? Seems like we're still live. So I shall keep going with some of the questions that have been sent into me. So, right. LinkedIn user. I was told that my portfolio needs to be maximum 5 megabytes, but you've told me I need to use high resolution images that will take me over that. What do I do? So there are 2 ways of looking at this. And firstly, if you go and look on AI, etc., I think you'll find it is probably going to tell you that you need to keep your CV and portfolio clear and concise and la, 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 la. Now, if you think about what AI is looking at all the information across the internet, good, bad, the ugly. And what it's doing is it's taking that popular opinion and giving it to you. Now, that doesn't mean to say that it's the right opinion, so you really need to think about this. So there's 2 ways of looking at this. That's my view about AI. But so what I would do if I were you is put together a master kind of portfolio. Now, okay, so really what hiring managers are looking at is the last 2 to 3 years max. What kind of projects have you been working on in that period that are relevant to their role? So have a think about that. But what I want you to do is put together your portfolio, and then so have your master copy, which I think you should be using for most. And that you need to think about where you want to go in your career, A, what your experience is, and B, where you want to go in your career. But you need to articulate the value and worth in the projects that you've produced or you've been a part of. And the only way that you're going to do that is to build trust with the reader. So that means that, you've got to give warts and all what you've been working on. Maybe not warts and all, but you know what I mean. We need to understand exactly what you've been involved in on a daily basis, what work you produce on a regular basis, what you enjoy. And some people do actually say to me, oh, Hayley, maybe I should leave out the technical stuff because I really enjoy the front end stuff. And I found myself in a role that's totally technical right this second. I think I'm just going to take out all the technical stuff. But what I say to them is that technical work and that understanding of working on the latter stages is going to help you still with the earlier stages in your future career. So never leave out bits. We still need to understand, but you also need to communicate that what you enjoy doing. And although you're working on technical stuff, these are the parts that I enjoy doing. You need to be far more vocal about what you want at the end of the day. If we don't know what you've been involved in or what you want, it's very difficult to match. So what these portfolios do in the main is they have like different messaging. So a CV says one thing and a portfolio says another. What we need is for everything, all the wording in your portfolio needs to be visually articulated in CV. What you say in your CV needs to be visually articulated in your portfolio. So when it comes to going back to this 5 megabytes, put together your master, and then what you will find on occasion, now this doesn't go for everyone, you will on occasion get a business. I know the companies that I've gone through, I think Foster and Partners do this, and I think OMA does this, maybe UN Studio. But what they're trying to do by restricting the file size, people are doing this because data is expensive. So if you're attaching a 1 giga portfolio, that is taking up data in their database, right? So they're not necessarily saying they don't want to know everything, but what they are trying to do with these businesses is see if you have A, read the job description properly, B, have you supplied the work that is relevant to the job that they're looking to fill. So they're looking to understand that you've really understood what they're looking for and you've demonstrated your relevance in the body of your CV and your portfolio. So I hope that helps with that. Great, we've got some more people. So Sarath, I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you for being here today. Can you have a look at my portfolio and please guide me if it's possible online here, and how much chances are there for my portfolio to get a job? I mean, portfolio review. So if you would like a portfolio review, please go on to our website, Sarath. I'm in a studio here that's called Restream. So I can't click on any links. So if you could, go onto our website and sign up for the portfolio review, then I will do a one-to-one portfolio review. But yeah, I can't click on links in here. So apologies for that. Right. Domenico, hi Hayley. Are you saying we put a visual representation of our duties and responsibilities as a portfolio, which is what they read on my CV? Yes, exactly that. Whatever you say in your CV, it needs to be visually articulated. So if you're working on pre-concept, so the design sketches, let me go through a few things, a few ideas that you can add. So think about your design sketches. So if you're working on the pre-concept, concept design stages, we need to see more of a linear approach to the stages that you work on. So we're looking for imagery in the form of sketches, diagrams, concepts, development, technical drawings. And then, yeah, if there's any issues, how did you go about solving those issues? We don't want a whole portfolio on all the issues, but we need to see your value and worth. Everyone has issues when it comes to every project, but how do you go about solving those issues? All we need is transparency in your portfolio. You're trying to build trust at the end of the day. So the more open and honest you are in the body of your CV and your portfolio and LinkedIn, bear in mind there's quite a few other stages that we're thinking about, the more people are going to gravitate towards you. I think certainly in the Middle East, I've heard this a lot from hiring managers, that they've had people that they've taken on from after the interview stage, whether they've seen a body of work and someone's gone, yeah, I can do this, I'm amazing at that, I'm amazing at this, and then when they get in the office and get them the feet under the table, they can't do this. So your portfolio is more valuable than anything in the job searching process. Excuse me. It really does build that trust. And especially if you're like talking about all of your expertise on LinkedIn as well. Sometimes I see or read a CV, portfolio, and LinkedIn that all send different messages. And from my perspective, LinkedIn is one of those areas that, because it's so out there, because everyone can see it, because your work colleagues can see it, you would kind of think that that's where that's most truthful. So if a CV and portfolio are telling different stories, and then the LinkedIn is as well, you already, as a reader, have so many questions about that individual that you're naturally going to move on to the next person. Trust is so important when it comes to the hiring process. So thank you very much for your question, Domingo. LinkedIn user, by the way, here's a tip. If I'm not seeing your name in the restream, I can only see how you're all set up in LinkedIn. So if you've got, this is a telltale sign. If I can't see your name and no one's actually going to see, when you go on to people who may have viewed your profile, you'll just get LinkedIn user, not your actual name. And maybe you want your settings that way, but when you're looking for a job, it's always good to change your settings to be more visible. So I would suggest going into your settings on LinkedIn user, so that other people can see that you've been looking at their profile. It's, I think more and more people are getting to use LinkedIn and understanding that this is quite powerful in itself. If someone's, I notice it when people look at my profile again and again and again, that normally indicates that they're quite active. So they are going to be in my mind. If I've got a job role for them, I'm going to go to them. Certainly if they've got the expertise that I'm looking for. So anyway, that's off on a tangent. Let me bring myself back in the room. Hey, Hayley, thanks for doing this. You are very welcome. I have a question. How does one express skills like stakeholder management that may not necessarily have a visual representation in a portfolio? Give me 2 seconds. I just need a bit of water here. So, stakeholder management. I actually had a similar question a couple of weeks ago. I had somebody in project management fit out. Now, not every single person needs a portfolio of work, so to speak. So if part of your role is to do with design, etc. Now, I've had positions at board director level for PIF companies, and even for those roles, they wanted to see a portfolio. And in actual fact, I'm going to talk myself out of this now, because part of the role was stakeholder management. Now, it all depends on what you are going to be doing. If you're on the project management side, less so. If it's on the design side, so design management, etc., they will want to understand your level of expertise as a designer. So again, how did you communicate that? It is obviously going to tail off when you're starting to get into management, but honesty is the best policy here. So still walk the user through, because it makes a great experience if you're walking into that interview and that hiring manager knows exactly what you've been working on. I think too often people assume that you can read their minds. The same goes for a CV, same goes for a portfolio. If it's not on the page, it never happened. So it all depends, LinkedIn user, what sector you're working on. So after this, when I go back into LinkedIn, I will be able to see who you are, and I might be able to give you some more tips. But it all depends what your background was and where you want to head. But yeah, it's sorry, give me 2 seconds. If you're on the project management side, typically hiring managers aren't looking for a portfolio. But if it's on the design side, they are looking for a portfolio. So yeah, I will come back to you after that. I do need a bit more information, but thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your question. Right, I'm going to go through some other questions that have been sent in. I did cover this earlier, but I don't know how many of you were on. I've been so paranoid this week after last week that no one is here. No one's kind of checking in. And also, what I do find on a weekly basis is not a lot of you engage in comparison to how many people view these LinkedIn Lives. So I have around 2,000 people every single week that tune into these lives. And you'll see in the comments section, hardly any of you kind of engage and stuff. So what I am doing is I'm going to be getting out loads of like emails to all of you guys who are on our database, because I think we need more awareness about trying to get this information out there to you. I would love it more than anything if I could book my diary out with doing one-to-one reviews with you guys and really getting your CVs and portfolios to do the sales for you, to get you those jobs that you thought were unobtainable. Your CV, LinkedIn, portfolio, job search, and personal brand are so powerful. And these kind of learning these techniques now before you're looking for a job will really help you out in your career, and it will direct your career. So it's really good to get ahead of it. It's really frustrating from my perspective to put out a vacancy on LinkedIn and the job boards, etc., to get 800 people who are missing information. And this is why I wanted to put this question from me to you. Why don't you have projects clearly in your CV? So please, if you would like a architecture and design specifically written CV template, scan this code to register on our website, and you will have your own portal where you will have access to free CV templates. And what you will see in our CV templates is, firstly, in the experience section, there will be a section about talking about the company or role, duties, responsibilities, but then under that for each company, I want you to go into details about the projects that you've been working on. Not all of us will understand the size and scale or sector that you have experience in. And when we are searching for people in our database, we will search on computer experience, job titles, sector. So, hospitality, residential, healthcare, these kind of things, so that you come up in our searches. If you don't talk about your CV, your projects in your CV, then you're not going to come up in searches. And this is where these CV templates and this stupid idea that you have to have a 1, 2, 3 page CV really hinders you in your job search, because you're having to leave out all the vital information that I need, that the hiring manager needs to be able to find you in the first place. So if it's not in your CV, if it's not in your portfolio, if it's not in your LinkedIn, it never happened. We're not mind readers. We're not able to do multiple searches and go out to hundreds of thousands of people, clog up our inbox, and then go through every single application individually just to check. You need to make the experience of getting yourself out there an enjoyable one. And this is where a good CV template and a good portfolio template, good LinkedIn profile together really, really helps you in your job search. So please make sure that you have a look at our templates on our website, and B, make sure that you keep in the projects and all the information that we need. Ignore these silly career coaches and people out there who are telling you to be less than, to shorten your experience, to shorten the information that you provide. Hiring managers are not going to reject you because you have a, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 page CV. They just won't. They want to understand who you are as an individual. And if you're holding that back, it never happened from our perspectives. So great. That's a huge glass of water. I know. I was sat here last week, and I don't know who, well, no one saw it actually. I was in Restream, that's where I'm filming this all, and I was sat here for 35 minutes. No one was coming in with questions, and this is why you won't see it on my profile. But yeah, I was sat here on my own, yabbering on, and yeah, I couldn't talk afterwards. So I tried to get it out there I went back into Restream thinking, no one got it this week. Or what am I going to do? I went back out and tried to blast it out there on LinkedIn again, but it just didn't work, and I couldn't talk. And so yeah, I'm fully prepared this week. But actually, while we're on this, what I would like to do, I did do this at the beginning. I don't know how many of you saw this, and I'm actually going to have to do something quickly on my phone. Which I know is really, really bad, but I've just realized that my Amazon Alexa is just about to give you all one of my notifications. So I just need to get rid of it very, very quickly. Pause. Woof. So what I want to do, some of you every week in, week out, come back to me saying, where do I find these events? Do I have to sign up? Do I have to pay? Do I? So what I want to do is just show you where to find this on my profile. Start learning about LinkedIn and where to find all of this information. So I'm just going to share my screen super quickly, and then come back to the rest of your questions. Atif, thank you very much. I can see that you've just shared your question. Right, so we're on here on my LinkedIn page, and I want you to scroll down, and under activity here, you see I'm live. Woohoo! Here's all my posts, but here are the events. Now, what I do want to let you know about is, and this is where you can sign up, but what I do want to let you know about is I've got quite a number of people coming to do these LinkedIn Lives during July, and I'm going to be getting it out there next week. I'm also going to be sending out a massive email shots to all of you guys who are registered with us. So if you want to stay updated, please make sure that you're registered on our website, and you will get notifications of these LinkedIn Lives. I really want to get it out to you, the real importance of your portfolio. It does all the sales work for you. It also helps you out with your interviews. It really kind of steers the conversations in the interviews and makes them such an enjoyable experience. I've had candidates come out of interviews and they have said, "I get what you mean now with the portfolio." It's not a case of, hiring managers aren't saying, "What do you do? And what do you do on this? And what do you do on that?" They're the conversation in an interview is about more, how do we work together? Can you see the change in that? And that changes the experience you have in the interview room. It makes it easy breezy. Also, the interview to job offer ratio dramatically increases. The negotiation of salaries becomes so much easier because the hiring manager sees your value and worth. And that's why I'm trying to do these. So please, please, please get this out to as many people as possible, your colleagues, and get ahead of your job search before you're in a panic of, oh my God, what do I do? Is this the right thing? Is that the right thing? Get ahead and make sure that your portfolio is already together, because the worst thing that you can do, and this is what I see regularly on a minute to minute, hour to hour, daily, weekly, monthly, annual basis, that people get to the job search, they're blasting out their CV and portfolio everywhere. I'm going in their CV, they don't have their projects in there. So how am I supposed to know if they're relevant for my? I then go in the portfolio, and their portfolio only contains 3D renders. It's not giving a clear opinion, a clear story about what they've been working on. So it becomes impossible to be able to present that to my client because it's not containing the relevant information that my client needs to fill that job. So please get ahead of yourselves, guys, here. Right, Atif, sorry I waffled on there. Should I hire someone to do me the portfolio, or shall I do it myself? Well, if you would like to work with me one-on-one, if you go to aerecruitment.ae, you will see portfolio reviews in there. You'll also see AE masterclasses. I had somebody this week, should I say, Yusuf, who sent me a lovely message on LinkedIn just to say, thank you, Hayley. I've barely got through the LinkedIn and portfolio stages in the AE masterclass, and I've already got interviews. He has been looking for a job and sending his details out for over 2 years, and well, he's just got silence back. So it's really, really good to see that our masterclasses are helping people in real time. So you can go onto the masterclass, and have a look at his very lovely recommendation, his testimonial. You can see the content that you will cover in the masterclass. And on our website, you can book a one-to-one with me. So if you want to make sure that your portfolio is unique, that you're getting an outsider's opinion on your work, that's basically you're telling the story. So some of you, I think, you kind of get yourself boxed in and you think that you're communicating your involvement on a project. But when I'm speaking to you, you're telling me all sorts of other things. I'm like, right, okay, so you've just told me that you really enjoy the technical design stages. Why isn't that there? So once you have a conversation with someone like me or someone like an outsider, you start to realize that you're not actually telling the right story. It's you need an outsider's perspective to give you that view. So Atif, you're more than welcome to do a one-to-one with me. And another question from you. If I have a variety of experience in several areas like BIM, design management, landscape, should I have several portfolios for each skill or discipline? I wouldn't recommend multiple portfolios. But in all honesty, I probably need to see your CV. Like I say, I'm in Restream, and I don't know whether your experience is BIM as a whole, whether it's landscape and BIM. But what we do need to understand is your role. BIM and design management do go hand in hand. Are you solely working on landscape in that? So do you see what I mean? I need more information, and I can't click on your profile here, but let me come back to you on that one. Domingo, it's amazing to see you, Hayley. How you have been in an industry helping job seekers like me, I think since I was in UAE in 2010. Not sure about the year. Yeah, I have been working in architectural recruitment for 27 years. And for those of you who don't know my journey, my dad was actually, he was an architect. He had his own architectural company. And that's where I've grown up in architecture. So my friends often say to me, geez, you really do love this industry, because when I'm not on LinkedIn, when I'm not working, I'm all about watching interior design programs, architecture programs. I absolutely love it. I eat, sleep, breathe it. So I do see, a lot of you holding yourselves back. And this is why I wanted to get on these and really get myself out there again. I don't know if you've been following some of my posts recently. You will see a string of very different posts this week, because I have signed up for something called Say It Louder with Regan Hillier. Now, she's someone out there who just wants people to embody their story, talk about their story, because we are all very, very different. And this is why I wanted to bring this up, because you are all very different individuals. Yet when I go through 800 CVs and portfolios, I'm seeing the same templates. I'm seeing the same wording, just a different name at the top. I'm seeing, a mishmash of a CV and portfolio that have no story together, no personal brand. And this is where you can really use the power of your own design skills. And that's what I find really frustrating with some of these individuals that come to me and they're like, Hayley, I'm trying to tell the story and la la la, why can't you see it? And it's only till I actually speak to them and go, well, okay, let's get on the phone. And some people actually talk themselves out of jobs. When I'm talking to them, they're nothing, they haven't even read the job description. So when I'm talking to them, they don't have any of the skills that the job description has detailed. So they've actually talked themselves out of it. They're like, oh, I really enjoy the concept design side. Well, this is for a technical architect. So why are you applying to the role? So yeah, I really want to talk about this and get this out there. So I'm doing the awkward thing, and all I'm asking from you is to update your CV and portfolio and tell your story. Don't feel like you are boxed in with these silly people online, misinformation online, to restrict your CV to 2 to 3 pages or restrict your portfolio to 5 megabytes. Tier 1 companies want to understand that, they want to understand who you are, how you think, and the only way that you're ever going to communicate that is if you tell your whole story. And so I'm doing the awkward thing and getting myself out there on camera live, having all these questions to try and show you that it's really not that scary. You can see in the comment section that they're not really scary questions. I don't have people going, blah, blah, blah. All I'm asking of you is to just update your CV and portfolio and tell your own story, please. It's not that hard. And if you're feeling it's difficult, let's work together. Let's get you out there, make you feel confident. I think, a lot of you you get yourself you get your knickers in a twist a little bit. And I want you not to feel that way. It's not as scary as you might think. people don't really care out there. If you see like some of the videos that I've posted on LinkedIn, I had a conversation with an interior design manager. She's enrolled to our platinum subscription, and I was like, "What do you think is going to happen?" If go and have a look at some of my videos on LinkedIn, and you'll see, well, I can see, sorry, I shouldn't say, I shouldn't assume that you can see because you can't. But there's some people that like they're only watching it for 22 seconds or something. Like, no one really cares. But what I do care about is I want you guys to know that you have a plethora of options out there. So please sign up here and get on our website. You will receive 5 emails that cover your CV, your LinkedIn, your job search, your portfolio, and your personal brand. And in five, and all of those emails, 5 of them in total, you will receive three tips on how to update all 5 of those areas. Now, obviously, there's way more than that, and that's why I've put together the masterclasses online, and that's why I'm doing LinkedIn Lives of reviews and getting guests on here, so that you can, feel inspired, know that you have different options out there and a plethora of options, but also I want you to feel comfortable about being unique and being different and being you and telling your story in your own way that uh, gravitates your cheerleaders towards you. Once you start getting out there, you'll realize that it's not so scary, it's not that difficult. No one kind of, I mean, you'll see, in if you go back through my previous posts, there's lots of people who aren't really engaging anymore. So are that many people seeing your stuff? No. But in the meantime, what you're doing is you're figuring out what works, And what I want from you is to feel comfortable. Get your CV, portfolio, and LinkedIn all singing from the same hymn sheet. But I want you to be prepared for your interviews, prepared for your job search, because when I like call some of you, and once you've applied to some of our jobs online and I'm calling some of you, I'm firing questions and you can't answer them. So our portfolio masterclass, our masterclass, our A platinum masterclass is all about um, taking you through all of the stages so that you are super confident when it comes to the job search. A, which jobs you're applying to. B, that your CV is directing your career in the manner that you want it to, is going in the right direction. C, that your portfolio is giving the hiring manager those insights so that they can visualize you working in their office, which is insanely powerful when it comes to the selection process. And then using those skills. So once you've got your confidence up, getting you to start posting on LinkedIn and just making you feel more comfortable. So I really want you guys to, know that you have options, know that there's a plethora of options, and you can work through these masterclasses at your own speed so you don't feel pressurized. There's no judgment there. We just want you to sing. I want to see you all out there kind of popping off on LinkedIn and people, gravitating towards you. There's nothing more powerful than that. And most people that have worked with me will know that they don't have to do a lot before they get seen. Like Yusuf, who's on our A masterclass at the moment, he's barely got through the LinkedIn and portfolio lessons and modules, and he's already got interviews. So if that isn't a testament of how effective our masterclasses are, I don't know what is. So let's get through some of these questions. Oh, Eid, is that how I pronounce your name? I hope it is. Apologies if not. Category of clients as well to be literally specified. Is it necessary due to confidentiality of some mega projects? Oh, I'm not sure what you mean here. Are you talking about NDAs? Um, if you're talking about NDAs, so I actually have a platinum subscriber at the moment, and it will all depend on your A, who you're working for, B, your relationship with who you're working for as well. But she is a graduate landscape architect and very, very good, I have to say, if anyone knows of anyone looking for graduate landscape architects at the moment. And she was like, Hayley, in one of our portfolio reviews, she was like, Hayley, I've actually gone to my boss and said, look, I need my portfolio to be updated in my career. I want to know what I can include and what I can't include. Alexa, stop. I knew that was going to happen. I have reminders every day of where I want to go in my career personally and where I'm heading. So that was a window into my life. But yeah, so she spoke to her director and just said, I'm really proud of the projects that I've worked on, and I want them to be a part of my portfolio. So he sat down with her and went through what she could put in her portfolio and what she can't. So I think we need to start getting a little bit more vocal about this and stop kind of avoiding these difficult subjects. I know there's people out there that have really gone for me on LinkedIn saying that I'm advising wrong, or that's really dangerous. But you need to kind of look at your career as your career, take ownership of it. I want to see you all fly. I want to see you all applying for our jobs on our website, and I don't know who to choose. I want to find those people. I want to see your personality in your details, and you're not going to be able to do that if I'm calling you saying, hang on a minute, you just talked about X project, why is that not in your portfolio? Oh, I've had NDAs for the last 10 years. Well, look, I have, in doing all of these masterclasses that are all on our website, I've made it my mission to go and talk to these tier one companies that we recruit for and ask the awkward questions. What am I supposed to do as a recruiter if I've got people coming to me saying that they're restricted by NDAs? What do you do with your staff? And nearly 99% of them, one of them was just like, I don't know. He felt a bit awkward about it, but the rest of them said, I'd gladly have these conversations with them. I don't want to restrict their careers, but also I guess it kind of gives you an insight into who they're working for, what kind of business they're working for. But yeah, our clients are super happy to have those conversations. There's nothing worse than holding yourself back in your career. They also don't want you to feel that way. They want you to thrive in the workplace, because if you're thriving in the workplace, the company's thriving and they're getting more projects in. So, I think people need to stop thinking about, oh, I can't do this. Oh, I can't do that. I'm really scared of who's going to be watching me. We all need to thrive in what we do in our careers. And the only way we're going to do that is by asking these awkward questions in the workspace, so that we can get past it. Let's work as a team, guys. Oh, thank you. I like this live. You are very welcome. I have no idea how to pronounce your name. Thembin Kosi. I think that's right. Hopefully. Sinead, so great to see your name again. Thank you so much for your comments this week as well. I really appreciate it. Hi, Hayley, signing in from holidays to say sorry I've missed today's live. Oh, bless you. I'll listen back when I'm home. Brilliant. Yeah, so this is a great point, guys. I did go through this at the beginning of this LinkedIn Live to show you where to find all the LinkedIn Lives. I will be putting these on our website as well. So that's being updated. We're going through lots of updates during the month of July. And for everyone who's registered with AE Recruitment, you're going to be getting a schedule of who is going to be joining me on these LinkedIn Lives. I'm super, super excited. I can't wait to tell you. So yeah, we've got some really big names in the industry coming to join. And what I want to do is give you some different perspectives on what other industries see as well. We've got Nikita Morel, who is going to join me on the 29th of July. I'm going to hopefully publish this later on today. But she is going to be giving her perspectives from her side. We've then got a couple of other people who really want to talk about how you can what you need to learn to progress your career through the stages and really get the experience you need so that when you get to managerial stage, if you want to get to managerial stage, you have all the tools there so that you thrive as an individual, your business thrives, your team thrives. So yeah, we really want to get as much information out there as possible. So hopefully this is a new question. Zineb, I haven't seen your name before. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Hayley. Thank you for this live. You are very welcome. I had 3 years off of interior design for traveling. How do I communicate it in a portfolio and CV? So I've had this actually during COVID, worked super, super well. I was working with some graduates actually. And what I love about the design industry, and actually you can use AI for this. So what I would like you to do is maybe use AI and say, can you put together a brief for me? Because like the design side, we're looking to understand your design process and your capabilities at the end of the day, right? So if it's a fictional project, at least you're going way over and above. Do you know how much you stand out by doing that? You show your dedication to wanting that role, which is very impressive when it comes to the selection process. Okay, so you are going to have to brush up. I did speak to someone on LinkedIn today. She's really, bless her, I won't say her name, but she's really lost her confidence. She's been out of the industry for not very long, actually. I think it was 6 months, 8 months. And she's more in a sales role. And she's just like, no one is picking me up. Like it's crickets when I apply for roles. And you can imagine it from a hiring manager's perspective, like they are going to go for the people who have got that relevant experience now. However, this doesn't mean to say that you can't get yourself there. There's lots of online things that you can do these days, even on LinkedIn. But also what you can do is use AI to put together a brief of a project. I don't know what stages of a project that you work on, whether it's purely the front end or you get involved in FF&E design, whether it's purely interior design. But what you can do, put in your expertise into AI. Maybe it can do part of the project for you. I don't know. But what you need to effectively communicate is your expertise and in a linear fashion, the stages that you work on, so that you can present that confidently to the hiring manager. But, be honest and say that this is what I've done, because that shows that you will go over and above in the workplace. And who wouldn't want to employ somebody that goes over and above like that, can show that dedication in this space? I think it's so important to articulate all of your personal qualities within the body of your CV, portfolio, and LinkedIn. And this is where your personal brand comes in. So, please sign up on our website so that you will get 3 insights on all 5 areas of your job search, so that you just get a bit of inspiration. At bare minimum, you've got 3 things that you can implement immediately. You can update your CV, portfolio, LinkedIn, job search, and personal brand, but you've got a bit of inspiration there in those 5 areas. And then hopefully that gives you something to kind of work for, work with, and give you those inspirations. So those three little things on each of those sectors that kind of trigger other ideas that you can do. And then if you want to do our masterclasses, they are all on our website as well. So hopefully that helps. And good luck with your search, Zineb. Right, next one. Sarath, as a designer, if I have years of experience, but have some 3D views and CAD plan only, not really followed many of the brainstorming process stages in this case, how to showcase our design thinking in a portfolio. Right, so it's about communicating the processes or stages that you've been involved in. It sounds more like you are involved on the 3D side. So it's about honesty at the end of the day. Don't just put a load of images in a document and expect the reader to actually understand what you're involved in. We want to see the CAD plans. By the way, if you're only working on CAD, you may want to think about training in Rivet, because even I don't know whether you're on an interior designer, architectural, but even on interior design, we've just got a flummox. Flummox? That's the wrong word. An influx. We'll get there. We've just had an influx of interior design roles come in, and even on the interior design side, they are looking for Rivet now. So, the reason why companies are using Rivet is because every stage of a project, the life cycle of a project. I've been talking for an hour, 11 minutes, and I think it's starting to show. But yeah, so the life cycle of a project can go through Rivet instead of converting those drawings into AutoCAD, then out of AutoCAD into another software. So really, think about using Rivet. It will do you no harm. So yeah, just be honest about the stages that you work on, and talk the person or reader through. If you a key indicator here, Sarath, is to remove all the 3D renders from your portfolio. What have you got left? What story are you telling? So if you've got no story whatsoever, you definitely need to update your portfolio. And you need to include the plans that you're producing. Hiring managers need to understand your level of expertise, your capabilities. There will always be a business out there that matches your level. So, and honesty at the end of the day will get you those roles. As long as you say, this is what I work on and this is the level, hiring managers can work with that. What they can't work with is people who aren't honest and upfront. It raises more questions than it answers. And in this world where we have hundreds or thousands of options, I mean, you only need to have a look at LinkedIn. It will say on job descriptions how many people have applied. You only need to use that as an indicator of how many applications we get on a daily, weekly basis to just one role. It's up to 1,000, maybe more. So if you aren't effectively communicating your expertise, there will be someone that does. And they are going to choose those people over the people who don't effectively communicate their value and worth and the stages that they're working on that are relevant to the job description. It makes sense, really. So I hope that helps. Iman, how can someone with limited professional experience build a portfolio that still demonstrates credibility? So I think I've been covering this the whole way through, but you just need to be honest at the end of the day. What do you have expertise in? I'm working with graduates at the moment who are doing all sorts of things. They are plugging their ideas into AI. AI is sending them not portfolio. Keep getting portfolio and projects mixed up. I do apologize. So they are getting AI to put together a project for them. They are then putting together the stages of that project and where their expertise lie. But you've just got to use your, and now, Iman, what I would like to know is, in fairness, what I will do is have a look afterwards. I'm in Restream here, so I can't see where. I don't know why. I have a feeling that you might be in engineering, and engineering isn't my field of expertise. So I will go and have a look at your profile after this and give you a few more insights. But what you can do is use AI for this, but you can use your university work, your thesis. Where there's a will, there's a way. And if you're feeling like there's barriers, you need to kind of look at that, start writing those down and overcoming those barriers. I think more often than not, quite a few people kind of they put their hands up in the air and go, I can't do this. If you can't articulate your work to us, then it's very difficult for us to help. And same for the hiring managers. If it's not in your CV and portfolio, it's never happened. So how are we supposed to progress your applications or ask you for an interview if it's not there? You just need to visually articulate your expertise. So whatever's in your CV, Iman, I want to see it in your portfolio. So I hope that helps. Right, I've got a few more questions, but I think I've actually quite a few people have sent in questions, but I'm gonna have to wrap this up in a minute. This is about CVs, but this is relevant. I saw the templates you shared. So this is one of our platinum subscribers. I saw the templates you shared. Wouldn't this make the CV very long, even if I mentioned 2 to 3 projects for each place I worked at? I thought CVs were supposed to be 2, maybe 3 pages. Please, please, please ignore anyone who says that your CV should be 2, 3 pages. You are not going to be able to effectively communicate your duties, responsibilities, and the information that we need as recruiters and hiring managers to select you for an interview. Like I said at the beginning of this LinkedIn Live, I was going through applications for an interior designer role, actually, and those interior designers, I've had to go back to the majority of them to ask them to update their CVs and ask them to update their portfolios. Their CVs, because they're 2, 3 pages, they don't have any projects in there. So how do I know if you've got the work relevant for my client? And then B, their portfolios only contain 3D renders. So that's actually telling me that they're a 3D visualizer. They're not an interior designer at all. So, don't, even if, oh, by the way, even if you're looking for this information on AI, you really need to think about where AI is getting this information from. It is scouring the entire internet and it's looking for all the good advice and all the bad advice. It doesn't know what's what, and it's putting that all together. And actually, there is a fact somewhere. More bad things are spoken about than good, but actually I can't remember the fact. So, but what I'm trying to say is that AI will put all of this information and spit something out at you. It doesn't mean to say that it's right. If I'm talking to hiring managers, they are never ever going to reject a job seeker because their CV is 5, 6, 7, 8 pages. Never. So you need to think about that and think, who do I want to employ me? Do I want the career coach who's telling me that I need to restrict myself, or do I want that amazing tier 1 company to hire me? It's food for thought, isn't it? It's the tier 1 company that you want to see you. So really think about, you want to include all the information relevant to the job description in your CV and B, in your portfolio. We want high resolution imagery because the majority of you put a massive hero image as the kind of project. I guess it's like the title page kind of thing. And then your work is teeny tiny imagery. And then when you zoom in or zoom in, it's all pixelated. So the hero image gets the attention. Therefore, are you a 3D visualizer? And your work gets lost because it's all pixelated and we can't see it. So we need high resolution imagery. So forget about all these things that you hear online about restricting yourself. Stop restricting yourself. Right. I have spoken for an hour, 20 minutes today, which I really hope makes up for the lack of seeing me last week. Like I say, if you scan this QR code, you can sign up and register for free on a recruitment. You will get 5 emails with 3 tips on every stage. It's just like the basic tips, but it's on the stage of your job search just to inspire you. I want you to start, taking off the shackles and not feeling so restricted anymore. So those will give you insights. Also, we've got loads of people coming on as guests during July. So I want more of you to get involved, get engaged, and start getting more inspired about what to put into your CVs and portfolios and LinkedIn profiles so that you stand out from the competition and you're seen in your job search. Or even if you're not in a job search, it does your job search, and you get plucked out from the companies that you want to work for. So please share this LinkedIn Live with everyone that you know. Please come and join me next week. Next week, I am going to change this format. I've promised this a couple of weeks running, but I've been waiting on the artwork that we are going to change the format. I'm going to change the format to include your entire job search, so that we can cover a few more areas and so that you can get a few more insights and you can start asking questions on those areas too. So, Linkies, I'm losing my voice now. Thank you so much to all of you who have joined me today. Please let me know what times are convenient to you, because some of you come on board the end of these LinkedIn Lives. So I'm wondering if the time is wrong. Could you tell me? Can you let me know? Leon, Haley, thank you for your time. See you soon. Your energy is amazing. Thank you so much. Hopefully I'm inspiring you too. Sinead, how's it possible to rewatch the LinkedIn Live again, please? Okay, LinkedIn user, and this is for all of you. I'll answer this one before I love you and leave you. So please go on to my LinkedIn Live, my LinkedIn profile, and scroll down to activity. You will see post activity, newsletters. At the end, there will be events. So all the events will be listed in there. You will also, over the course of this week, you will see all of the events going to pop up throughout the month of July. So please sign up for those too, so you can gain some insights from different industry leaders and perspectives, so that you can feel inspired, not just in your job search, but your career, to really take control. And Linkies, it's been a long one today. Thank you so much for joining. And I can't wait to see you next week. Hope you have a fabulous